Today we are going to be discussing a book that Father has read recently. I know nothing, so do we want to do a brief description of the premise?
Oh, it's not actually a book I've read or written. It's a book idea that popped into my head.
Ooh, hypothetical books.
Hypothetical book, yes.
What is this hypothetical book, Father?
So the title of the hypothetical book is The Rise of the Poet Class.
All right.
So just from that title, what do you think the book would be about?
I am thinking either a poorly written YA novel.
A fantasy novel.
A fantasy novel.
Right.
Or something, knowing you, relating to the recent influx of the arts in economies. Or the idea of like how being a thinking person who writes cool things is an occupation in itself, which has always been the case to an extent, but was rarely as available as it is today.
Wait a second. Say more about the last one? Right, like where writing becomes a whole career and occupation?
Where one can be a public individual through writing, or how accessible, like, getting your ideas out there is nowadays.
Ooh, okay. Well, not far off, but here's a basic. I'll give you the basic pitch, and you can tell me where we have to go with it. So the basic idea is that in each phase of history, because of the way technology works in that phase, there is a certain type of individual and a certain type of background and training that's favored. So in Sparta, you have a warrior. In an agrarian society, you might have people who are disciplined and can work long hours, maybe slightly favored toward people who are physically large and strong. And then in the information age, you have, it's actually become quite, I'm going to skip ahead here, but basically people who are trending autistic have the upper hand, people who are...
Can intake a lot of information very quickly, and then re-synthesize it.
Computational, who are good at computation.
Okay.
Are the people who have the upper hand, and they've even, as we've had computers that are extensions of the human brain's ability to compute, the people who are closest to being a computer work the best. And so we have them as programmers, we have them as sort of the high priests that go into the cloud and come back with the vision of reality that the cloud, the database.
Commandments. Moses goes up on the mountain, comes back with 10 laws.
Right.
Yeah. And
so for a couple of decades, we've been hammering this STEM thing where, hey, if you want to make money, what you need to do is go into something that's as technical as possible.
Tobias, your brother.
Like my brother is an aeronautics engineer. Engineering is a great preparation for lots of things, lots of money. And so the first part of the book sort of lays out the history and so a couple of additional phases, what types of people really are the best positioned to contribute value to a society.
Be them farmers in an agrarian society or warriors in a warlike society or nowadays Elon Musk types.
Yeah, Elon Musk is kind of an exception to everything, but maybe the software engineer stereotype we can play with. All right, so then what's going to happen next, and this is a prediction, it's something that we need to start telling our children who are going into college now because it's going to be unfolding over the next several years, is that the people who are actually going to have the upper hand are the people who are able to deal with more abstract and human-like pursuits. So shorthand could be that it will be a resurgence of the liberal arts.
Really?
Correct.
Huh.
So the reason I think that is that as computers have moved from very much at the computational age, making calculations programmed piece by piece into a Bayesian realm, statistical calculations, fuzzy things, large language models, they are becoming more human. And so when your technology becomes more human, then the people who are best at driving it are interfacing between that and humanity.
The translators.
They're the translators. So the translators are the people will be the people who are most like humans, not the people who are most like computers.
Because humans are good at translating.
Humans are good at translating, and only humans know about humans. Computers, if you just ask a computer to do a bunch of stuff, it is able to do a bunch of stuff, but you need a human who has the biological, sociological, psychological, spiritual needs of a human to tell it what to do.
Yeah. You said the first section would detail the history. Would the second section be this advice? Would it be in the structure of a very thematically driven story, like Snow Crash, where you're like, ninjas, and then it's like, whoa, so data sanitation. And in that case, data hygiene, would it be like a story that's very driven by themes, or would it be a book, not a textbook, but like an advice book? Nonfiction.
Yeah. Well, I would love it if it was a novel. I don't think I have those skills. Maybe you can put that together. But yeah, so the first section is the history, and the second section is talking about the developments in technology and how it's fundamentally changed the way we interface with technology, and so the need for humans to use the strengths that humans need in order to interact effectively with the new tools also needs to change. And then the third section would be more outlining specifically what skills are going to be needed and why, and going through the different liberal arts and pointing out specifically how they will be used to interface with the technology that exists now.
Could you give me an example of what that might be? Like, history would work well here, or like, talking people talk work here.
No, I don't think I have ready to write the sections.
More thoughts.
Yeah, might have to come back to this.
Let it marinate. Yeah. Any other thoughts and
Nope,
comments?
that's the new book coming in some time in the future. Rise of the Poet Class.
It's a rad name.